The air in the Foxwoods Resort Casino was thick with tension on June 29, 2013, as the crowd awaited the middleweight showdown between Kazakhstan's GENNADY GOLOVKIN and England's Matthew Macklin. The ring, bathed in harsh white light, stood as the stage for a battle that promised raw power against unyielding heart. Golovkin, the unbeaten destroyer known as GGG, carried a record of 26-0 with 23 knockouts, his 88% knockout rate a chilling statistic that hung over the division like a storm cloud. His style was a blend of precision and devastation, every punch thrown with intent, every step calculated to trap his prey. Across from him stood Macklin, 29-4 with 20 knockouts, a Birmingham-born fighter with Irish fire in his veins. He'd faced elite names like Felix Sturm and Sergio Martinez, falling short but never breaking, his toughness a badge of honor. Tonight he aimed to defy the odds and topple the Kazakh juggernaut. As the fighters made their entrances, the crowd's roar swelled. Golovkin, calm and stoic, moved with the quiet confidence of a man who knew his power. His gloves, red as blood, gleamed under the lights. Macklin, bouncing to keep loose, exuded nervous energy, his eyes sharp with determination. The announcer's voice boomed, introducing the fighters, and the arena pulsed with anticipation. This wasn't just a fight. It was a collision of wills, a test of whether Macklin's grit could withstand Golovkin's relentless assault. The bell for round one rang, and the fighters met in the center. Golovkin glided forward, his stance upright, his hands low but ready. Macklin, light on his feet, flicked out a jab, probing for openings. GGG absorbed it, his face expressionless, and fired back a jab that landed with a thud, snapping Macklin's head back. The Englishman didn't flinch, throwing a quick combination, a jab followed by a right to the body. Golovkin slipped the jab, blocked the body shot, and countered with a short right hand that caught Macklin's jaw. The crowd felt the weight of that punch, a reminder of GGG's terrifying power. Macklin kept moving, using angles to avoid being cornered, but Golovkin's footwork was masterful, cutting off the ring, forcing Macklin to fight in tight spaces. A sharp left hook to Macklin's ribs landed late in the round, drawing a wince. The bell sounded, and both men returned to their corners, the scorecards likely even but the momentum tilting toward GGG. Round two saw Macklin try to seize control. He knew he couldn't let Golovkin settle into his rhythm. The Englishman came, out aggressive, throwing a three-punch combo, jab, cross, hook, aiming to disrupt GGG's flow. The Kazakh slipped two punches, took the hook on his glove, and answered with a straight right that rocked Macklin's temple. The crowd gasped as Macklin's knees dipped, but he stayed upright, his heart refusing to yield. He fired back, landing a left to Golovkin's body, a punch that might have hurt a lesser man. But GGG's chin was iron, his resolve unshakable. He began targeting Macklin's midsection, unloading a pair of hooks to the ribs that echoed through the arena. Each shot seemed to drain Macklin's energy, his face tightening with pain. Golovkin's punches weren't just hard, they were precise, landing with surgical accuracy. A late right hand from GGG split Macklin's guard, rocking him again, but the Englishman survived the round, returning to his corner, breathing heavily, his team urging him to keep moving. The third round was where the fight story was written. Macklin, sensing he was falling behind, came out swinging, desperate to turn the tide. He landed a clean uppercut that briefly halted Golovkin's advance, a flicker of hope for the underdog. But GGG, unfazed, pressed forward, his eyes locked on Macklin like a predator. He began to tighten the noose, cutting off angles, pinning Macklin against the ropes. The crowd leaned forward, sensing the end. Golovkin feinted with a jab, then unleashed a left hook to the body, a shot so brutal it seemed to freeze the moment. The punch landed flush on Macklin's liver, and the Englishman collapsed, his face a mask of agony, clutching his side as he hit the canvas. The referee's count was a formality. Macklin couldn't rise. The fight ended at 1:22 of round 3. Golovkin's hand raised in victory as the arena erupted. The knockout replay played on the big screen, the slow-motion footage showing the devastating body shot, the ripple of impact through Macklin's torso. It was a classic Golovkin finish, calculated, vicious, inevitable. The crowd cheered not just for the victor but for Macklin's courage, a warrior who'd stood in the fire until his body gave out. Golovkin, barely sweating, raised his arms in quiet triumph, his expression as calm as ever. Macklin, helped to his feet by his team, showed the heart of a fighter, nodding in respect to his conqueror. In the post-fight interview, Golovkin was humble, his broken English carrying a sincerity that endeared him to fans. "Matthew is strong, a true fighter," he said, his smile disarming yet somehow menacing. "I respect him." Macklin, still wincing from the body shot, was gracious. "In defeat, he's different," he said, shaking his head. "That punch, I've never felt anything like it." The stats backed up the story. Golovkin landed 54% of his power punches, compared to Macklin's 32%, with the body shots proving decisive. The win moved GGG to 27-0, with 24 knockouts, cementing his reputation as the middleweight division's most feared man. The fight was a showcase of everything that makes boxing compelling. Golovkin's power was almost mythic, his ability to end fights with a single punch the stuff of legend. Yet Macklin's performance was a testament to the sport's heart, a reminder that courage can shine even in defeat. Body shots that wore Macklin down, the final liver hook that ended it. The narrator's voice urged fans to relive the drama, to share the moment, to keep the fight alive in conversation. For Golovkin, it was another step toward greatness, a warning to the division that he was a force